chart that helps you to see this. If you look down the side, okay, on the left side, you have your tenses, okay, present. Now the second aorist there is only in the case of having a stem change, okay? We'll get into that at another time, but just keep that there. Then you have future, and then you have first aorist and perfect, okay? These are the tenses of your participle. Okay, then you have reduplication, so this is just like, it's just a different kind of chart, but it's using building slots just like we've looked at before, the finite verb. We got the reduplication because you do have a perfect participle. Then you have your augment. Okay, now notice your first aorist does not have an augment. Okay, that's because first aorist participles do not have augments. Okay, those are only for indicatives, only for indicative finite verbs. Okay, and then you have your stem, which is lu, our normal stem, and then you have your sign. For present, it's blank, as we would expect it to be blank, right? Future has the sigma, just like you would have in your finite verb. The first aorist would be sigma alpha, just like you would have in your finite verb. And then in the perfect, you have a comma, which is what we would also have in our finite verbs. Now, the difference here, look at your ending. Your ending uses an IME. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, keep your finger here and then put your other finger on page 72, your chart. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got some present tense. I've just written them up here so that you can see them. So here are some present tense participles of luo.
So only the first row on page 76 because they're present.
Okay, so I've got lu and then own. Okay, lu own. Okay, if you'll notice there on page 72, what we have there is this is a nominative masculine singular. And it's present tense and it's a participle. So what I would say if I was going to parse this is I would say that this is a present participle nominative masculine singular of luo. Okay? Okay? So it's got aspects of both verb and noun, right? Okay? So, what would I say here? Okay, how would I translate that? And remember, what are participles? Participles are ing words, right?
Loosing.
Okay, loosing.
They're adverbs.
So it would just be loosing. Okay? All right. But again, it is present participle, and actually it doesn't list it here as far as the, so it's present participle. Oh, and active, okay, it's active. Okay, so it's present participle active, nominative, masculine, singular. And it's loosing.
Is it an adverb? Or is
No.
that an LY thing?
No, this would act like an adjective. Okay? In fact, verbal adjective. Okay? So, here, this is the genitive. Okay, so this is going to be present, participle, active, genitive, masculine, singular. Okay?
Say that again, with present participle active.
Present, participle, active, then genitive, masculine, singular. So again, what I'm doing here is I've got my stem, and then I'm connecting my where'd it go? And I'm putting my IME on the end.
Well, what do you mean by that? Oh,
Your IME participle, okay, on page 72, those become your endings. See that?
So we're going to recognize these by noticing that it has an ending that's a, I'm
Okay.
really confused.
Let's put it this way, let's do it this way. Okay, so we got Lou, okay, so there's our stem. Okay, so we have a blank, right? Blank, that's a blank sign. We also have blank thematic vowel, okay? And then we have an ending, which we use the IME participles for the
Of
endings.
losing,
Huh?
of losing.
No, we're not gonna get into translating, okay? We're gonna wait till we get into translating. I was just letting you know that this is the way participles work, they're ing words, okay? But we're not gonna get into translating. I don't wanna, because that will get us confused. I don't wanna do that right now. I just wanna work with what is a present active, or what does a present participle look like? Okay, all right, so, and then we have this, right, which is the dative, right? And you can see that again, right? Auntie, on page 72, that's the ending. This is the ending.
A question, because my brain's just gotten all confused. The endings on these are the noun endings, correct? Not verb endings? They're the noun endings for genitive, dative, the nominative, like the...
The endings?
Yeah, the endings are the noun endings, but they're
No,
being
no,
snatched
no,
from
they're the
verb.
IME endings. They're
Right,
IME endings.
But they're the endings of nouns?
Okay, remember, this is a participle, okay? Remember, participles have verbal functions and noun functions. They've got both, right?
Okay.
They have present, which is present participle active, okay? That's what we would consider verb, right? But then nominative masculine singular, which is noun. So you have both of those in a participle.
So it's the pattern in our slots that tells us it's a participle and not some kind of noun, something connected to it?
They're still endings, but they're the IME endings instead of other types of endings.
Other types of endings, right? Now, when we get into middles and passives, then you're going to start using first and second declension endings instead of IME endings.
And then those will be connected to nouns, right?
Yeah, that'll be more your noun type endings. Okay. But again, these are kind of noun endings too, but these are the IMEs. Okay, the IME participles. Okay, again, if you look at your chart on page 76, you see that, right? You see that under ending? IME, IME, IME. Okay, that's just a way of saying these. Okay, now, if you go to future, you'll notice there under on future, you have the same thing. Now you got sigmas. Okay, you see them here? Sigma, sigma, sigma.
That third one is what, aorist?
Where? Right here?
What?
Yeah. No, these are present. These are present
Those are
tense,
all
right?
present.
These are all presents. Okay, so you got presents here. Okay, and we're gonna have futures here. Okay, and then we're gonna have aorists over here. And then we're gonna have perfects. Okay, so we got sigma, 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 right? But we have the same endings. See, same endings. So we've got nominative, genitive, dative. Now there is an accusative, but I didn't feel like putting it up there. You got the idea. I don't need to add the accusative as well. Okay, here I've got a future, be like sigma, sigma, sigma. Okay, same endings. And then here I've got sigma alpha, so I got sigma alphas, which tells me I've got first aorist. I don't have augments because I don't have augments with a participle. Okay, now here there's a little different here. Okay, when you come to your aorist, what happens is, and this is a little bit maddening, but your initial vowel on each of your endings will drop out. Okay, you see that? So if you look over here, okay, notice your omega drops out. Now this is a sigma. Okay, the reason why, and we'll look at this in the next page, let me go ahead and just do this just for sake of explanation, and I'll go back, I'll put that back to sigma again, but just for sake of explanation. So see this drops out, right? The reason why is because I've got an alpha. So when I have an alpha, then I drop my initial vowel. You see that? Same thing over here, okay? I dropped my omicron, it's dropped out here because I have this alpha. Same thing here. I drop out my initial vowel because of my alpha. Okay, but it's the same ending. It's the same ending, right? It's just that initial vowel drops out because of the alpha. Okay, now over here it's a little strange because now we've got this that tells us it's a perfect, and we know that when we have reduplication and a first augment, that always tells us that it's perfect. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, you just said that you don't use augments with your first aorist with a participle. You're right. But for the perfect participle, you do use a reduplication and a first augment. Then you have your kappa, right? Your kappa always tells you that it's a perfect, okay? And then your endings here are a little strange because they also change, but what happens here is your internal news are what drops out. So you see here, you got this is a new, this is a new. Okay, see these news? In your perfect, the internal new drops out. So you notice there, it's gone. See here? Drops out here. Drops out. Your internal news drop out. It's just something that, it's just a distinctive of the language. I don't know why it drops out. It just does. Okay, and that's the way you're again, I'm gonna put this in here just for sake of explanation. Okay, see that? All right.
You had a sigma on there originally, correct?
Yeah, and because I'm gonna explain it here in just a moment, but I'm just gonna do that just so you can see the continuity here. But that does change, and you'll see here in just a moment. Okay, now I am not going to go over all this. I want you to read page 77. Okay, on page 77, what I just showed you up here is what I just said on page 77. Okay, just go over this. Take the notes that you just took and compare what we just said, and you'll see it. It'll just come on like lights, you know. Now, go to page 78, and let me show you the change here. Okay, on the top of page 78, important note, one change does occur from the above use of the participle. In the first aorist and perfect nominative singular masculines, and the perfect nominative and accusative singular neuters, the normally used nu of the own and the on is changed to sigma. Okay? So here's where that happens. What should, you know, it would normally be this, right? It's normally that, but because of the alpha, I drop out my initial vowel, and then this changes to sigma, and it's the same way over here. Changes to sigma. Don't ask me why. These are some of the questions you can ask Paul. I don't think any of you are even going to care, are you? Okay.
Well, I'm gonna get there.
Okay, any questions on this? They're irritating, but don't worry, it'll all come together. It'll all come together. It's kind of like 18. Love when the plan comes together. Remember? guys ever watch 18?
Yeah.
Pretty fool.
Wait, are you done?
Frozen.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay.